Welcome to the A to Z English podcast. My name is Jack, and today I have a solo episode. And today I'm doing a topic talk episode, and the topic is what to do when you are stuck. Okay, so what to do when you are stuck. And what I mean by that is whenever you try to learn something new, like if you're trying to learn the guitar, or if you're trying to learn a new language, like learning English, there's going to be times where you get stuck. Okay. We call this a plateau, and a plateau is like a flat surface, right? You go up, 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 and then you hit a kind of ceiling, and then you hit a plateau and you don't improve for a while. You get stuck. Okay. And I've got three strategies that you can employ when this happens to you during your English language journey. And the first one is the first strategy that I would use if I were you and you're studying English, you're learning English, and then you just feel like you're stuck. You're not getting better. Walk away. Take a break. Okay? Just take a vacation because sometimes your brain is overstimulated, right? You've just been studying, studying, studying and going to online classes and everything has just been your whole world is just English, 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 and you're so focused on it that you're overwhelmed. Okay, you're overwhelmed and overstimulated, and that's actually not necessarily a good state to be in if you want to improve in something. When you want to improve in something, you want to be in a flow state, right? A flow state is where you're having fun, it's challenging, but it's not too easy and not too difficult. And when you're just overloaded with too many things and you're putting too much focus and too much pressure on yourself, then you're actually not in a flow state. You're not in a good place to improve. So what I would do in that situation is just take a break, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, maybe a week, and just walk away from the whole thing and just be like, I'm done. Okay. Um, I used to be an athlete when I was in high school and college. I was a basketball player. And the funny thing is, we would practice every day, but during the vacation, the Christmas vacation, we would have about 5 or 7 days off, that's a long vacation for in the middle of a season, right? If you're supposed to be playing, every weekend, you don't usually take 5 days off in a row. But the funny thing is what I noticed is that after 5 days of not playing basketball, when I came back, I was able to jump much higher than I was before because my legs were not tired anymore. My legs had basically rested, and they got stronger, or at least they were more rested. So when I came back, I actually found that when I was jumping, I was able to dunk the basketball much easier than I was when I was playing every day. And so that's a kind of an interesting thing is that when you walk away, you get a little bit stronger because you start resting, your brain is resting, your mind is resting, and then when you come back, you're much sharper. So your English might actually be better. So sometimes taking a break and just walking away from something is not a bad thing. That can be a good thing. Number two, change up your strategies. So if you're focusing a lot on conversation, do go to listening. Okay, just stop doing conversation and do something else. Do something completely different. I also play the guitar as a hobby, and my friend told me this strategy. He said sometimes when and in the guitar, people get stuck all the time. You get to a certain point, a skill level, and then you just can't seem to break through to the next level. My friend recommended to me, he said, sometimes when I get stuck, what I'll do is I will put my guitar in a different tuning. So what that means, changing the strings, the sounds of the strings into like a different tuning and just play, using a different tuning. It's like a whole other, um, basically like a whole different vocabulary of guitar music. And and he says by playing in a different tuning, by tuning my guitar differently, I don't have to worry about chords and things like that because I can just tune it into like an open chord. So where you just strum the guitar and it sounds good. And then you can just play around with different, picking styles and things like that. And so basically he'll change the whole situation, the whole basically structure of the standard guitar playing to something different, and then play around there for like a week, and then come back to the standard tuning, and then he'll find that he's able to kind of improve a little bit because he had that break, and now he comes back with a fresh mind, fresh eyes, and a different set of skills. So if you're focusing on speaking and you feel like, oh, my speaking's not getting any better, don't do more speaking. Do something different. Go work on, pronunciation practice, or go listen to some podcasts and improve your vocabulary. Read something. Um, do something different than speaking. Okay. Or do something different than listening. You're like, oh, my listening's not very good. Okay. Well, then why don't you go and focus on something else like reading or writing? So change it up. Whenever you get stuck, make a change. And the last piece of advice that I have is sometimes when you get stuck, um, it's because either the material that you're studying is too difficult or it's too easy. Okay. And so sometimes we have to be careful about what like what we're using to learn English, right? If what you're doing is the same thing every day, you're just doing like, for example, if you were to learn English and every day you just practiced ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. If you just do that every day, of course your English is never going to get any better because learning the alphabet it's too easy. You're not challenging yourself, okay? But if you go and watch a YouTube TED Talk about, I don't know, physics or something like that, um, that's going to be way too hard. The vocabulary in there is going to be incomprehensible to you. And so you're not going to gain anything from watching that very difficult TED Talk, and you're not going to gain anything from practicing the ABCs either. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, what you want to do is put yourself in a flow state where you're giving yourself material that is just slightly challenging, okay, a little bit beyond your level, not too challenging, just so that it's fun and challenging and not too easy. And it should also be enjoyable. And if you're having a good time, you're not bored, you're being challenged, not too hard, but not too little, not too much, not too little, just the right Goldilocks. We call it the Goldilocks space, the perfect amount of difficulty. Then in that case, you're going to show improvement. Okay, so it's about getting into a flow state. Okay, so number one, you can walk away from the whole thing, just take a vacation. Okay, 5 days. I'm done. I don't want to even look at English for 5 days. And that's totally acceptable. Number two, change up your strategy, just work on something else, just a different one of the different skills. If you're doing a lot of reading, do listening. If you're doing listening, do speaking. If you're doing speaking, do writing. Okay, just switch it up. And if that doesn't help, number three, make sure that you're in a flow state. Okay. You're being challenged by material that you think is interesting and fun. It's not too challenging and it's not too easy. And so you can run those three tests and, or you could try all three strategies and see which one works best for you. But there you go. Those are my advice when you get stuck on your English journey and you're not improving and you're not moving up. You can try one of those three things and see if that helps. And let me know. Give me some feedback about this. Did my advice actually help you? Send me an email, a2zenglishpodcast.com. Leave a comment on our website, a2zenglishpodcast.com. Sorry, our email is a2zenglishpodcast@gmail.com. Our website is a2zenglishpodcast.com. You can also join our WhatsApp group or WeChat group, and you can leave a comment in there, and I will get back to you. And with that said, I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.